Alright guys, we've all Russell here, and the Square Enix press conference finished about half an hour ago, and because of that I wanted to do a overview of what my top 5 favourite games were from E3 this year, as I have no interest obviously in the PC gaming conference because I don't have a PC. So, let me elaborate. This will be my top 5 favourite games from E3, so it's not the best games. So you aren't going to see Uncharted, even though it looks great. You aren't going to see The Last Guardian, even though it was probably the best game, I think, at E3. You aren't going to see Final Fantasy VII. You aren't going to see Halo 5 or Gears of War or, anything like that. You aren't going to see Assassin's Creed. You're going to see the games that I personally felt I loved the most, probably because it connected with me as I'm a fan of the series, something like that. If you know me, then you can guess what number 1 is, but you might be surprised. So let's get right in it. Top 5 games of E3 to me personally. And I'm wearing a Seth Rollins t-shirt again today, just because I love it. It's awesome. Alright, so number 5. This might be surprising to people, and it was surprising to me when EA opened. EA had probably this third weakest conference. There were only a few things I really cared about. But this was one of them, and it was Mass Effect Andromeda. And you might be a little bit surprised that this is only 5th, but the reason this is only 5th is because we only really got a trailer and they didn't elaborate on much, they didn't say too much. No BioWare members actually came on the stage. It was basically just the opening to a EA. But what we got was a pretty interesting trailer, which I'm assuming is probably a prequel. It seems that it's taking place in a different part of the galaxy, but it is still in the galaxy, as we noted from the N7 on the armor, which I thought was really cool. It's a nice callback to the original trilogy, and I am very happy that it isn't called Mass Effect 4, because that kind of does a little bit of disrespect to that trilogy. That trilogy is over. We should start on something else, and I think Andromeda was a nice idea. But we won't be seeing Mass Effect Andromeda till Christmas 2016. So I've got to wait a long time for my next Mass Effect game, but it is fine because we have a lot. I loved the E3 this year. I thought they had some great games. And we come to number 4, which, again, if you know me, you knew this would be in the list, you just didn't know where. And number 4 is coming out on December 8th, and it is Hitman, which was announced last night at Sony's press conference with a stylish trailer. It probably wasn't the thing that people had the most invest in. In fact, it's probably one of the lesser things on that conference and on the Square Enix conference. But it had a great trailer. I thought it was very stylish. I thought it showed us what we're basically going to be doing. Of course, it was a trailer of 47 running, and as soon as I saw that someone was running, I didn't really know what it was, but then we hear a voice, and it's Diana, who says 47, and I'm like, yeah, we've got another Hitman game, and it is basically just being called Hitman. It's not a reboot. Apparently it is in the timeline. It is after Absolution. Diana is of course alive, and I'm interested to see where they go with it. Square Enix elaborated on the game. They said that it will be more basically it seems to me more like Blood Money. That's actually what they were talking about on a panel on YouTube. It does seem a little bit more like Blood Money. You'll take your targets and you'll probably, I'm assuming, try to escape. So it doesn't have that linear path like Absolution does. It takes the path of, Coding 47, South Assassin contracts, and Blood Money, which I'm really liking, because they are some of my favourite games. Hitman is a lovely franchise. I absolutely adore it. And I think that was very enjoyable. That was my favourite game from the Square Enix conference, which really wasn't entertaining to me. Brief, Kingdom Hearts looked good, but again, it's just gameplay, and they were kind of just teasing the world. They only showed the Tangled world, and Square Enix just didn't have a very good conference. To me, it was probably the second weakest. To Game 3, and this is from the Ubisoft conference, and Ubisoft were my favourite conference. I think they did very well. Probably one of the best conferences Ubisoft have actually had in a few years. It's not Assassin's Creed, it's actually the game that they showed really early on, and it's a game called For Honor, which is, I'm assuming, it seemed like a medieval hack and slash game, but they actually showed a gameplay demo of it, and it looked sweet as hell. The graphics looked great, the crowd, there was a bunch of soldiers all fighting, and you are a sort of captain, so you can kill the grunts really easily. But then when you come into contact with another captain, like they showed in the trailer, they showed 2 guys fighting out, and it was a 5-minute fight. It was so cool. The tactical part of it looked awesome. The blade stuff looked great, and the finishers, God, that was sick. He stabbed, the guy got stabbed and he got and his head cut off. Awesome. For Honor looks like a sweet game. I can't remember if they said a release date or anything, but I thought that looked great. It looked really cool, and that was probably my second favourite game from Ubisoft, who had a great conference. I think that Sony had the best conference with Last Guardian, with Uncharted, with Final Fantasy VII, but I do think Ubisoft had the favourite, because I think some of them connected with me more, like Rainbow Six, which isn't on this list. Rainbow Six, and I think The Division looks sweet. The Division is sort of a cross of The Last of Us and sort of MMO, which is a cool thing. We haven't seen, they keep mentioning that The Division is an RPG, but they haven't shown too many RPG elements, and the actual gameplay trailer demo they did, the comms in it was a little bit like over the top. I think they were a bit exaggerant, and I don't know how that, you can betray your friends thing's going to work, because I would never betray my friends, I don't think, because then they'd never play with me again. But off topic, For Honor looks like a great game, and I'm definitely going to be getting that. These are like the 5 games that from after finishing the 6 conferences, I was like, right, I'm getting that, I'm getting that, I'm getting that. And number 2 is the wild card of the bunch, and I think that I saw this and I couldn't really get into it straight away, but after I looked back on it, it looked absolutely great. Now this is only a trailer, which is I put it over For Honor for another reason. I think that the fact that it only had a trailer, yeah, it does kind of hurt. It wasn't a gameplay. Although the gameplay was in the trailer, it was a gameplay trailer. But it's Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I think that the best part about this was that I'm not a big Ghost Recon fan. I'm a Tom Clancy fan. I play Splinter Cell and Rainbow Six Vegas. They didn't show any Splinter Cell, but they showed Division and Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon. So Tom Clancy's getting a lot of games this year, and it's a shame that Tom Clancy actually passed away in 2013. But oh well. So Ghost Recon, the reason I've got it this high, I think, is because I'm not a big Ghost Recon fan, and I think this actually got me invested into the franchise. The game looked sweet. I think the idea of 4 players in an open world, they showed the idea of you've got 3 different approaches: a long range approach, a stealth approach, and an ambush approach. How they showed it, I think, was the best part. I mean, we've seen the different approach thing before. Sorry, that's better. But we haven't seen it executed, I don't think, that well. Ghost Recon had great graphics. The gameplay looked fun as hell. And the one mission they showed looked very interesting. And the driving was great. And everybody has a role. And I think that was probably one of the best parts of that. And Ghost Recon is I'm insanely hyped. I think it would be a great game. But unfortunately, it's coming out next year. So we've got to wait a long time. But, God, I forgot when For Honor's coming out. I mean, I know Mass Effect is Christmas 2016. Hitman is this year, so that's getting bought. I mean, I'll probably pre-order Hitman. Of course, Ghost Recon is next year. For Honor, I can't remember. And number 1, my favourite game from E3. If you know me and you've seen that Hitman and Mass Effect aren't number 1, then you can probably predict it. It's Fallout 4. Basically, it was on, I think, two conferences. The Bethesda showing of Fallout 4 was incredible. Bethesda had a great conference, and they only had 4 games. I think that was real. The only problem with Bethesda that I think Sony had a better conference. The only reason Sony's conference was better than Bethesda's was because they had more games. Because Bethesda were awesome. They had the second best conference, and then Microsoft. But honestly, Fallout 4 looks amazing. The character creator looks so in depth. I seriously was enthused by how you can shape noses and stuff, and how my character is going to look freaking weird. But the thing is because of that, I can make it look as much as possible. I can get the broken nose look of my nose in the character. The character's now fully voice acted. I actually think that NPC characters will mention your name, but it's probably going to be from a list. And I'm never going to find Ross or Revolver Ocelot, which my character will go by the name of. So that's a little bit disappointing, but Fallout 4 just looks absolutely sweet. They showed gameplay, VATS is back, the first-person shooting looks miles better, the world looks great, I think Dogmeat's back in the game, the dog's cute. And I think they're going for more of an emotional narrative with the game, which will concern, of course, actually events before the bombs actually drop. So that's cool because we've never had that perspective in the Fallout series. So I'm honestly behind that. I want an emotional narrative in Fallout, and that is an absolute contender. I think when Fallout 4 was announced, it actually blew the Game of the Year argument this year out of the water, because it was just like, God, that is so like incredible, and it's coming out on November 10th. Same day as Tomb Raider. I can seriously see Fallout absolutely stomping Tomb Raider. If Tomb Raider isn't exclusive, even though I think we know it's timed, then Fallout is going to absolutely stomp Tomb Raider in the sales. Another cool thing they showed from the Fallout part was the Pip-Boy. The Pip-Boy looks miles better. The manoeuvring seems to be better. The arms, everything is just so detailed. The Pip-Boy looks awesome, and the Pip-Boy is like one of the best parts of the Fallout games because it has everything. So that looks great, and Fallout 4 looks to be one of the best games of the year, and it looks to be it could be one of the best games ever made if it's that good. So thanks for watching. This has been my top 5 games from EA, top 5 favourite games from EA. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Leave in the comments what were your favourite games from E3. Did you like, what conferences did you like? I personally, of course, as I've already said, liked the Ubisoft conference, and I didn't like the Nintendo conference, except for Yoshi's Woolly Land, something like that, and Super Mario Creator. And I think Star Fox was pretty mixed. I think that didn't go off as well. You can tell that Nintendo were padding that Zelda wasn't there. But again, tell me what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys.